Good morning. Myself, Dr. B. Sarita, Associate Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Bharat Institute of Higher Education and Research. Course name is Water and Sewage Conveyance, and the topic which I am going to discuss is Design of Sewers. In design of sewers, we have following topics like introduction, requirements for design and planning of sewerage system, water supply pipes and sewer pipes, provision of freeboard in sewers, hydraulic formulae for determining flow velocities. In introduction, we are going to see about the sewers and stormwater drains. Generally, the sewer pipes are laid at steeper slope or gradients which falls towards the outfall point with pipes which is of circular in cross section. Whereas stormwater drains, they are constructed as open surface drains at suitable gradient, either rectangular in section or trapezoidal in section. Whereas the sewers are designed to carry the maximum amount of sewage or wastewater which is produced in particular area and which is finally discharged into particular sewer. Whereas stormwater drains are designed to carry the maximum stormwater runoff which is produced by particular catchment area from the rainfall of design frequency and of duration. Coming to the next topic, requirements for design and planning of sewerage system. The sewerage scheme is designed in such a way to remove the entire sewage or the wastewater which is produced or discharged effectively and efficiently from the houses to the point of treatment and disposal. So we consider the following aspects while designing the sewerage system or sewerage scheme. We can see them one by one. The first one is the sewers provided should be of adequate size in order to avoid overflow. Due to this overflow, this leads to the contamination and which will finally lead to various health hazards. Then second point, for evaluating proper diameter of the sewer, that is size of the sewer, we have to correctly estimate the sewage discharge. Then only we can arrive at the correct diameter of the sewers. And the flow velocity inside the sewer, it is very important. The flow velocity should neither be so large or as to carry the heavy excavation and high lifting pumping, or it should be so small causing deposition of the solids in the sewers. So the main aim is to avoid the deposition of these solids in the sewers, and the sewer should be laid at least 2 to 3 meter deep in order to carry sewage from the basement. And the sewage in sewer, that is the wastewater in the sewer pipe, should flow under gravity with 0.5 to 0.8 full at design discharge, that is at the maximum calculated discharge rate. And the sewage is conveyed to the point usually located in low-lying area. So usually the treatment plant is located in low-lying area where the sewage or the wastewater is conveyed, and the treatment plant should be designed taking into account the quality of the raw sewage and to meet the discharge standards. So by analyzing the raw sewage, we can decide the type of treatment required for particular wastewater or sewage so that the treatment can be done effectively and efficiently, mainly to meet the discharge standards. That is the important point that to be considered in the treatment plant, and also while designing the various treatment units to treat the wastewater. And coming to the difference, the next topic, that is water supply pipes and sewer pipes. What is the main difference? What are the major difference between the water supply pipes and the sewer pipes? That is, a water pipe means water distribution network, sewer pipes and sewerage system. So water supply pipes, these pipes, they carry pure water, and when you see the velocity need not be higher than the self-cleansing velocity as you see in the wastewater pipes, because here in water you don't have the solids which in present in the water in suspension, so velocity need not be higher in water supply pipes, and the water is carried under pressure in water supply mains or pipes. So the pipes can be laid up and down the hills and the valleys within certain limits. So these pipes, we can say the water supply pipes, they are flowing full under pressure. So these are the main points about the water supply pipes. Coming to the sewer pipes. Sewer pipes mainly carry the contaminated water, mainly the wastewater or sewage containing the wastewater means mainly it contains organic or inorganic solids, which mainly settles, which tries to settle in the pipe, and also it can cause corrosion of the pipe material. So in order to avoid deposition of these solids, that is organic or inorganic solids present in the wastewater, so deposition of those solids should be avoided in the pipe. So for that, there should be self-cleansing velocity. That is, the self-cleansing velocity should be available for all possible discharge rates. So whatever may be the discharge rate, the self-cleansing velocity should be there in order to avoid the deposition of these solids in the pipes. And the sewer pipes carry the wastewater or sewage under gravity. So therefore, how the pipe should be laid at continuous falling gradient, that is in the downward direction, that too towards the outfall point. Then only the wastewater or the sewage can flow under gravity. Then sewers are designed to run partial, full, or at maximum discharge, and this extra space ensures non-pressure gravity flow. So by this, it can minimize the leakage from the sewer due to faulty joints or any cracks present in the sewer line or sewer pipes. And the next topic is provision of freeboard in sewers. So sewers with diameter less than 0.4 meter. These pipes, that is having diameter 0.4 meter, are designed to run half full at maximum discharge, whereas sewer with diameter greater than 0.4 meter are designed to flow 2/3 to 3/4 full at maximum discharge. So here the extra space is provided in the sewers, which provides factor of safety to counteract against various factors. like the various factors which are considered, like safeguarding against lower estimation of the quantity of wastewater which is to be collected at the end of design period due to private water supply by industries and public. So in order to ensure that sewers will never flow full, eliminating pressure flow, mainly the pressure flow inside the sewer. And the next factor is the large scale infiltration of storm water through wrong or some illegal connection, or even through underground cracks that may be present in the sewer lines, or through open joints that are present in the sewers. So infiltration of the storm water, then unforeseen increase in population or water consumption, and consequent increase in the sewage production, that is increase in the volume of the wastewater produced, sewage produced. For that we have to provide the freeboard in sewers. Then coming to the hydraulic formulae for determining flow velocities. So while designing the sewer lines, so we have to take into certain design criteria, and also we have various formulas to design the sewers. So the sewers may be of any shape and they are hydraulically designed as open channel except in the case of inverted siphons and discharge lines, mainly in pumping stations. So we can see the formula one by one which are used in the design of sewers. So first one is the Manning's formula. That is, this formula is commonly used for design of sewers. That is, the velocity of flow through sewers can be determined using this Manning's formula, which is shown in the next slide. So in Manning's formula, it is written as V is equal to 1 by N, R to the power 2 by 3, S to the power 1 by 2. Here V is equal to velocity of flow in the sewer in meter per second, and R is equal to hydraulic mean depth given in meters, and A is the cross-sectional area of flow given in meter square, and P is the wetted perimeter which is given in meters, and small n is the rugosity coefficient. This coefficient mainly depends upon the type of channel surface. That is, the material, the channel surface is based on the material, and also the value of the rugosity coefficient lies between 0.011 and 0.015. Suppose, for example, brick sewer, its value will be around 0.017, and for stone facing sewers, it will be around 0.03. And the small s is hydraulic gradient, which is equal to inverse slope for uniform flows. So by substituting all these, we can find out substituting the value of N, R, S, we can find out the value of V, that is the velocity of flow of the wastewater in the sewers in meter per second. Then the next formula which is used for determining the velocity of flow of wastewater in the sewer line is Chessie's formula. Here Chessie's formula, it is given as V is equal to capital C R to the power 1 by 2 s to the power 1 by 2. Here capital C is Chessy's constant and remaining variables are same as the above equation. That is, here R is the hydraulic mean depth of flow given in meters, whereas S is the hydraulic gradient, which is equal to inverse slope for uniform flows. And the next formula used is Crimp and Berg's formula, which is given by V is equal to 83.5 R to the power 2 by 3 S to the power 1 by 2. Here the same, this V is velocity of flow of wastewater in the sewer given in meter per second, and R and S, that is R is hydraulic mean depth of flow in meters, and then S is hydraulic gradient, which is equal to inverse slope for uniform flows. Here, and the next formula is Hazen-Williams formula, which is given by V is equal to 0.849 and capital C into capital R to the power 0.63 S to the power 0.54. Here R is hydraulic mean depth and capital S is the hydraulic gradient. These are the various hydraulic formulae used for determining the velocity of flow of wastewater in the sewer lines. So here in these formulas we are using the coefficient C. The Hazen-Williams coefficient C, that is in the last formula we are using capital C. So this coefficient varies with the life of the pipe material, and also it has high value when the pipe is new and the value of C is lower when the pipe is older. So for example, for RCC new pipe it is around 150, and while designing it is recommended as 120, and as the pipe interior may become rough with time, so it is while in the design we are taking around 120, because during long run the interior it will become very rough. And the design value of C for asbestos cement pipes, then plastic pipes, then cast iron pipes and steel line pipe, that is steel line with cement, or given the value like, or taken the value like 120, then 120, 100, 120 respectively. And even modified Hazen-Williams equation is also used in practice. So in this way they are taking the value of C while calculating the flow velocity. And coming to the minimum velocity, which is nothing but the self-cleansing velocity. So self-cleansing velocity, the velocity which will not allow the solids to settle down in the sewer pipes, because the sewer pipes mainly carry out the wastewater or sewage, which mainly consists of organic and inorganic solids. So once the flow of these wastewater are reduced, flow of velocity is reduced in these pipes, there is a chance of settlement of these solids in the pipes. So for that, the settlement of these solids should not be permitted. For that, we should consider proper cleansing velocity, that is called as self-cleansing velocity. And also even scoring that is even the score the deposited particles of the given size. That is, the particle should not be allowed to settle in the pipe, which is called as the self-cleansing velocity. And this minimum velocity should be at least developed once in a day, so as not to develop or so as not to allow the deposition of these solids in the sewers. Otherwise, if there is deposition or settlement of these solids happens in the sewer pipes, it will obstruct the free flow, causing further deposition, and also finally it will lead to the choking or blocking of the sewer lines. So the minimum velocity, this minimum velocity or self-cleansing velocity can be worked out as below. It is given in the next slide. So this minimum self-cleansing velocity is calculated using the formula, that is capital Bs is equal to square root of 8k by f dash into s s minus 1 into g into d dash. So here capital K is equal to a constant. This constant value is taken based on the type of solids present in the wastewater. For clean inorganic solids, the value of K is taken around 0.04, and for organic solids, K value is taken around 0.06. And this F dash is the friction factor, that is Darcy-Weisbach friction factor, and for mainly for sewers, this F dash value is taken around 0.03, and SS is the specific gravity of the sediments or the solids, and small g is the gravity acceleration due to gravity, and d dash is equal to diameter of the grain, which is given in meters. So by substituting all these values, we can find out the minimum velocity, which is called as the self-cleansing velocity. Once if you know the specific gravity of the solids, then diameter of the solids or the grains we can substitute, and we can substitute the value for the friction factor and also the constant value capital K based on the solids present, and you can calculate the self-cleansing velocity. So the self-cleansing velocity plays a vital role in avoiding the settlement of the solids in these sewer lines. Otherwise, the settlement of solids will become a great nuisance in blocking the sewer lines. So minimum velocity of self-cleansing velocity mainly for removing the solids present in the sewage, that is you can say the sand particles up to 1 mm diameter with specific gravity of the sand 2.65, and the organic particles up to 5 mm diameter with the specific gravity of 1.2. So it is very essential that there should be minimum velocity of about 0.45 meter per second and an average velocity of about 0.9 meter per second. So this the sewer line should develop this much velocity inside the, that is in order to avoid the settlement of these solids. So in such a way, the sewer pipe should be laid at certain gradient to achieve this minimum velocity, that is the minimum velocity. The essential velocity is, the minimum velocity is should be around 0.45 meter per second and average velocity around 0.9 meter per second. So by having this velocity, this average velocity, we can remove, that is remove, or we can avoid the settling of the particles like sand, that is even up to 1 mm diameter, or any other organic particles having size up to 5 mm diameter. So based on the specific gravity, that is around 2.65, or that is with organic particles around specific gravity around 1.2, we can avoid settling of these type of particles with this velocity, minimum velocity. So hence, while finalizing the sizes and gradients of the sievers, that is slope of the sievers, they should be checked for the minimum velocity. So that can be generated even for minimum discharge, or even for very low discharge rate, that is about 1/3 of the average discharge. So we have to finalize, or we have to design the size, and also we have to decide the slope or the gradient of the sievers in such a way they should have minimum velocity generated even at very low discharge rates. That is 1/3 of the average discharge rate. So these are the main points considered while going for the self-cleansing velocity while laying the sewer lines. Then while designing the sewers, the flow velocity at full depth is generally kept at about 0.8 meter per second or so. And since sewers are generally designed for half to 3/4 full, or the velocity at design discharge, that is half to 3/4 full, will even be more than 0.8 meter per second. So therefore, the minimum velocity generated in sewers will help in the following ways. That is, the minimum velocity generated will help in transportation, that is adequate transportation of the suspended solids, and keeping the sewer size under control. So this will minimize the cost of the sewer pipes. Then preventing the sewage from decomposition by moving it faster, thereby preventing evolution of foul gases. So the self-cleansing velocity does not allow the, mainly in sewage, in wastewater, it will not allow the solids to settle. So thereby it avoids the decomposition of the settled solids. So due to decomposition, what happens? Emission of foul gases. So this is also prevented by going for this minimum velocity, by having minimum velocity generated in the sewer lines. So the interior surface, the maximum velocity, the next topic is maximum velocity or non-scoring velocity. The interior surface of the sewer pipe, they get scored due to the continuous abrasion caused by suspended solids present in the sewage. Of course, there will be wear and tear in the pipe, sewer pipes, mainly in the interior surface of the sewer pipes due to solids present in the wastewater. So the scoring is pronounced to very high velocity than what can be tolerated by the pipe materials. So this wear and tear of the sewer pipes will reduce. What happens? The scoring, it will reduce the lifespan of the pipe, that is durability of the pipe, and also it reduces the carrying capacity of the pipe. So mainly to avoid this, it is very essential to minimize the to limit or to minimize the maximum velocity that will be produced in sewer pipes at any time. So this limiting or non-scoring velocity mainly depends upon the material of the sewer, that is the sewer material. So this non-scoring velocity or maximum velocity This velocity is mainly considered in order to avoid the wear and tear of the sewer pipes. Otherwise, it will reduce the life of the pipe or durability. It will affect the durability of the pipe and finally the carrying capacity of the sewer pipes. So for that, it is very, very essential to have this maximum velocity or non-scoring velocity. So the limiting velocity for different sewer materials are given below. Like we can see in the tabular column, sewer material. On the next column, you have limiting velocity given in meter per second. For vitrified tiles, you have limiting velocity around 4.5 to 5.5. And for cast iron sewer, you have 3.5 to 4.5. Then for cement concrete, you have 2.5 to 3. And for stone ware sewers, 3 to 4.5. And for brick line sewers, you have 1.5 to 2.5. These are the limiting velocity given in meter per second. And the problem of maximum or non-scoring velocity is severe, mainly in hilly areas where ground slope is very steep. The problem of this non-scoring velocity will be more severe in hilly areas because the slope will be very steep. And in order to overcome this, we can construct drop manholes at suitable places along the length of the sewer. So coming to the next topic, effect of flow variations on velocities in a sewer. That is, the discharge flowing through sewers varies considerably from time to time. Hence, there occur variation in depth of flow and thus there is variation in hydraulic mean depth, which is denoted by HMD. And due to the change in hydraulic mean depth, there occur changes in flow velocity, and because it is proportional to HMD by due to change in HMD, that is hydraulic mean depth, there occurs changes in the flow velocity. Because it is proportional to hydraulic mean depth, it is 2 by 3. Therefore, it is necessary to check the sewer for minimum velocity of about 0.45 meter per second at the type of minimum flow, that is 1/3 of average flow, and the velocity of about 0.9 to 1.2 meter per second, which should be developed at a time of average flow. And the velocity should also be checked for limiting velocity, that is non-scoring velocity at the maximum discharge. And for flat ground, sewers are designed for self-cleansing velocity at maximum discharge so that it will permit flatter gradient for sewers. And for mild sloping ground, the condition of developing self-cleansing velocity at average flow may be economical. Whereas in hilly areas, sewers can be designed for self-cleansing velocity at minimum discharge, but the design must be checked for non-scoring velocity at maximum discharge. So here in hilly areas, sewers can be designed for a minimum self-cleansing velocity at minimum discharge, but the design must be checked for non-scoring velocity at maximum discharge. So these are the various effects of flow variations on velocities in a sewer. That is, the discharge should flow through sewers with considerable velocity, and the velocity should be checked for limiting velocity, that is non-scoring velocity when the discharge is maximum, and also it should have a minimum velocity at a minimum flow rate. that is around 0.45 meter per second, and the velocity is around 0.9 to 1.2 meter per second. Yeah, it should be the velocity should be like this, that is around 0.9 to 1.2 meter per second at average flow. And for flat ground, they should be designed for self-cleansing velocity at maximum discharge. For mild sloping, the condition of developing self-cleansing velocity should be at average flow should be economical. Whereas in hilly areas, sievers can be designed for self-cleansing velocity at minimum discharge, but the design must be checked for non-scoring velocity at maximum discharge. With this, I finish. Thank you.